Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll explain you how you can identify histology slide of any gland very easily. So friends, to understand all the points very clearly, just watch this video till end. Or if you are clear with the classification and basics, then you can skip this introduction part according to the content section which you can see on your screen, or I'll be adding that in description also. So friends, this is broad classification of gland on the basis of presence और absence of duct. As we all know कि जिनमें duct नहीं होती और ductless gland are endocrine और glands with duct are exocrine gland. So before going into detail of that, हमें पता होना चाहिए कि कोई भी gland होगी तो उसके दो part होते हैं. The one is secretory unit and the other is duct. Or secretory unit can be two type on the basis of shape. It can be expanded like alveoli, so that will be known as acinar, or it can be tubular. Now this is again a flow chart showing the classification of exocrine gland on the basis of nature of secretory unit as well as branching pattern of duct. So simple or compound. Simple glands means these are unbranched. So as you can see on your screen, simple tubular gland means there will be straight tubule. These are found in intestine. Now simple coiled tubular, यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि जो straight tubule था उसमें coiling हो गई ये. So these are found in sweat gland friends. Now simple branch tubular. So simple branch tubular means there will be branching in the tubule, which is characteristic of gastric gland. Then there is another called simple branched acinar, where we have secretory unit as acini, or there will be branching in the acinar portion also. So till now we have seen the glands with unbranched duct and branching only in the secretory unit. Now we'll see the glands which have branching in both secretory unit as well as in duct also. So the first is compound tubular gland, where you can appreciate the branching in duct as well as in secretory unit. So these are found in Brunner's gland of duodenum. Next is compound acinar gland, which is found in exocrine part of pancreas. So you can appreciate the branching in duct as well as secretory unit. Another is compound tubuloacinar gland, which are branching in duct as well as the secretory unit. And there are two different secretory unit, tubular as well as acinar. So this is found in submandibular gland. Now many of you might have doubt. We have discussed simple tubular gland but not simple alveolar gland. Why so? So simple alveolar gland are not found in adult. They are only present in embryonic period during development of gland. So this can be an MCQ friend. So remember this point. Now let's classify the gland on the basis of their secretion. So on the basis of secretion, they can be serous, mucus, or mixed. One thing which you can see from this slide is serous gland is smaller, means the size of serous acini is smaller as compared to mucus, while that of mixed acini is in between the serous and mucus. So this is the difference between serous and mucus acini. And if you remember from my previous video, I have told you that in identifying the gland using microscope, we can appreciate only the nuclear feature mostly. So in serous acini, the nuclei is spherical and subcentral, whereas in case of mucus acini, it is flat nuclei which is more towards the base, while the size of lumen is narrow in serous acini and larger in that of mucus acini. Both have myoepithelial cell. The cell shape is pyramidal in both. Now there is one term called mixed acini. So you might have heard about serous demiluon. So demiluon is nothing, it is crescent or moon-like shape. So how serous demiluon is formed? So there is one mucus acini and serous acini fuses with its apical part. So it will give a crescent appearance, which you can appreciate in this slide. So this is serous acini actually fused with mucus acini. So coming to salivary gland, which is most important question for your histology sporting or your first proof. So as we all know, there can be three types of salivary gland in our body. It can be parotid, submandibular or sublingual. So parotid is predominantly serous, sublingual is predominantly mucus, and submandibular, which is also known as submaxillary, it is kind of mixed gland. So you can remember it like it has two names, so it has features of both. Now let's discuss the architecture of salivary gland. Just like other gland, it has a capsule which dips inward to form septa that divides the gland into lobule and lobes. Something like this present inside the lobule. These are known as intralobular duct, which can be intercalated or striated, and the duct which are present between the lobule are known as interlobular duct or the main duct or the excretory duct. So these are connected to each other. Now let's start with the parotid gland. So parotid is predominantly serous type of gland. So just looking at the microscope we can get the idea कि कोई gland serous है या mucus है. यदि कोई gland बहुत dark या मतलब बहुत dense appear हो रही है, so it means कि serous gland है वो. और if it is कि मतलब लाइट अपीयरेंस दे रही है, पेल अपीयरेंस है, तो इट मस्ट बी म्यूकस ग्लैंड, क्योंकि म्यूकस ग्लैंड होगी तो उसमें उसका सिक्रेटरी प्रोडक्ट होगा म्यूसिन, और म्यूसिन की वजह से प्रॉपर स्टेन वो ज़्यादा नहीं ले पाएगी. सो कैन यू अप्रिशिएट दिस डार्क एसिनाई? दीज आर एक्चुअली द सीरस एसिनाई. Or in between the serous acini, the part which are lined by simple columnar or simple cuboidal epithelium, these represent the duct, and the duct may be interlobular or intralobular. So these are actual slide. Can you appreciate the dense acini? These are all serous acini, and these part which are lined by simple columnar epithelium or simple cuboidal epithelium, these are actually ducts. Now coming to sublingual gland, this is predominantly mucus type of gland. So as I have discussed earlier, कि mucus है, so it will give the pale appearance which you can appreciate on your screen. The nuclei in mucus acini are flat and more towards the base. Can you see? These are nuclei which are more towards the base, or just like parotid gland, it also has duct which is lined by simple columnar epithelium or simple cuboidal epithelium. This is actual slide where you can appreciate the pale cytoplasm. So these are actually mucus acini and it is striated duct. This is another slide showing the same. Now coming to submandibular gland, as we have discussed, it will be in between both. It has both features of parotid as well as sublingual. So the most distinguishing feature is presence of serous demi-lumen. Can you appreciate serous demi-lumen here? The mucus acini which is fused by serous acini forming the serous demi-lumen. Here one serous demi-lumen is there. This. And all the other features like presence of duct or connective tissue remains the same. So this is serous acini, this is mucus acini, and this is serous demi-lumen. Now this is very important slide differentiating all the three type of salivary gland, so you can go through all the features. Let's classify the glands on the basis of their mode of secretion. So we all are aware that there can be three type of gland on the basis of it: merocrine, apocrine और holocrine. So merocrine means जो secretion है वो exocytosis से हो रहा है. So gland में कुछ loss नहीं हो रहा. So these are found in merocrine sweat gland और pancreatic acinar cell. Second is apocrine. Apocrine means जो अपाइकल पार्ट है वो डिसइंटीग्रेट हो रहा है, यानी कुछ पार्ट तो लॉस हो रहा है सेल का. सो दिस इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली फाउंड इन लैक्टेटिंग मेमरी ग्लैंड और एपोक्राइन स्वेट ग्लैंड, नाम से पता चल रहा है. थर्ड इज होलोक्राइन, वेयर होल सेल डिसइंटीग्रेट. So these are found in sebaceous gland. So this is pictorial representation where we can distinguish the sebaceous gland, eccrine sweat gland, and apocrine sweat gland. So the main difference between all three is that sebaceous gland is opening into the hair follicle, apocrine sweat gland is also opening into the hair follicle, whereas the eccrine sweat gland, as you can see, is directly opening into the skin. So this is the tabular difference between eccrine and apocrine sweat gland. You can be asked this question in your viva. So remember, eccrine is typical sweat gland. Typical sweat gland means these are present mostly all over our body except for the part where apocrine sweat glands are present. So they'll empty their secretion directly on the skin, whereas apocrine pour their secretion in the hair follicle. They are present in armpit, groin, and nipple. Now, third type of gland which we have seen is sebaceous gland. They are almost associated with hair follicle, pour their secretion in the hair follicle. So remember, they are located throughout the body except for the palm, sole, dorsum of feet, and lower lip. So you can appreciate this on this slide. So coming to another important topic for our discussion, that is mammary gland. Just like other gland, also has the same components, but the main thing we have to focus here is parenchyma. On the basis of parenchyma, we'll distinguish between the lactating and non-lactating stage of mammary gland. In case of non-lactating gland, there will be spherical masses or cord of alveolar cell, क्योंकि अभी secretion नहीं हो रहा है. But in lactating gland, there will be numerous alveoli which are lined by columnar epithelium, because now there is need of secretion. So you can appreciate this difference here very easily. This is lobule in inactive mammary gland, whereas in lactating mammary gland, can you see these ducts, intralobular duct, and these glandular alveoli? This glandular alveoli which are filled with secretory product. And the same thing is depicted in these two slides also. Just remember like this कि in inactive mammary gland will have major portion of connective tissue, fibers वगैरह होंगे, while if it is a slide of active or lactating mammary gland, so we'll have more of duct like things, which are alveoli will be more, and alveoli will be filled with the secretory product. So this is another slide showing lactating mammary gland. So can you appreciate these alveoli which are filled with secretory product? This is non-lactating mammary gland. So as I have told you, in case of inactive or non-lactating mammary gland, there will be more of fibers. So these are fibers and connective tissue as compared to less number, very less number of cells. So friends, this was all about histology of exocrine glands. In my next video, I'll try to cover histology of all endocrine glands. Thank you for watching, and if you find this video slight helpful in your studies, then hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more such videos.